Hello and welcome back to Study Sessions, the English Literature Revision podcast from St. George's. In this episode, we continue our journey through Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol by exploring Stave 2, the first of the three spirits. This episode is here to help Year 9 students reading the text independently build a stronger understanding of plot, character, symbolism, and of course, Dickens' powerful social messages. Now, when we left Scrooge at the end of Stave 1, he was deeply unsettled after the ghostly visit from Jacob Marley, who warned him that three spirits would arrive to guide him. And so, as the bell tolls 1, Scrooge meets the first of these visitors, the ghost of Christmas past. This spirit is strikingly strange. Dickens describes it as appearing at once young and old, with long white hair but a childlike face and a bright, shining light streaming from its head. Its shape seems to flicker and change as though it cannot quite hold one form. Dickens creates this sense of shifting otherworldly power to show how memory itself is fragile and changeable, and yet still illuminating. The spirit even carries an extinguisher-like cap, a symbol that Scrooge will later use to try to suppress painful memories. Now, the ghost explains that it has come to help Scrooge reflect on his past, and reluctantly, Scrooge agrees to go with it. Together, they travel back through time, visiting key moments that shaped Scrooge into the misanthropic miser he is today. First, Scrooge sees himself as a lonely schoolboy, abandoned at school over the Christmas holidays. The sight of his younger self, isolated and neglected, stirs deep regret. We start to see that even someone as cold as Scrooge was once vulnerable. Dickens uses this scene to build sympathy for Scrooge, showing that his bitterness had roots in a painful childhood. Next, the spirit shows Scrooge a joyful memory, his beloved sister Fan arriving to bring him home, bursting with affection. Fan here represents warmth, love, family, everything Scrooge later rejects. Her death, hinted at later on in the novella, adds a note of tragedy and might help explain why Scrooge isolates himself. Then Scrooge revisits the warehouse of his youth, where he worked as an apprentice to the generous Mr. Fezziwig. Here, the contrast could not be clearer. Fezziwig throws a joyful, warm-hearted Christmas party for his workers, reminding Scrooge that employers can spread happiness instead of misery. Scrooge feels a pang of shame, realizing how differently he treats Bob Cratchit. The most painful memory comes next. Scrooge witnesses the moment his fiancée, Belle, ends their engagement. She tells Scrooge that another idol has replaced her, a golden one, meaning money. Belle sees that greed has taken over Scrooge's heart, and with quiet dignity, she lets him go. Scrooge is visibly tortured by this memory. He cannot bear to see it, but the spirit forces him to confront what he sacrificed in his pursuit of wealth. Finally, the spirit shows Belle later in life, happily married with children. Scrooge watches in agony, imagining the family he might have had. Dickens here drives home the cost of Scrooge's choices. He has gained money but lost love and joy. Overwhelmed, Scrooge begs the spirit to take him home. In desperation, he tries to extinguish its light with the cap, a desperate attempt to block out the truth of his own past. But memory cannot so easily be put out, and Scrooge finds himself back in his bed, exhausted and shaken. So, in Stave 2, Dickens helps us see that Scrooge wasn't born cruel and callous and parsimonious, but he's been shaped by painful losses and some wrong moral turns. It's through the ghost of Christmas past, then, that Dickens suggests that understanding our mistakes is the first step to changing for the better. In our next episode, we will explore Stave 3, where Scrooge is shown the present, a world he has chosen to ignore. So, as always, thank you so much for listening. I hope you found the episode helpful, and stay tuned as we follow and track our way through Scrooge's moral journey.